Hello and welcome to the show. This is the Sales for the Nigerian Business Person podcast. It's available on Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple iTunes, any podcast player of your choice. So you can subscribe for free if you're one of those folks who is listening to this using a web browser. Subscribe, you don't have to pay any money, and all the recent episodes are already there on your phone, downloaded to listen at your convenience. Today on the show, we're going to look at can location be a hindrance to closing your sales? This is one of the questions that I received from the Sweden cohort. I've already referred to the program multiple times, so I'm not going to go over it again. If this is your first time of listening to the show, when you're done listening to this, skip back one or two episodes. You get a lot more details on what the Smedan program was. Smedan is SMEDAN. You can also use that in the search function to wherever it is that you're listening to this episode, and you'll see my other podcast episodes where other podcast episodes that are dedicated to that particular event that I'm referencing. So it was one of the questions that I was asked by a member of the class. I answered it, but it's something that I wish I had expanded on quite a bit more. I can't remember the exact ambit of the answer that I gave back then, but I remember thinking that, well, I should have spoken about that some more. So this is going to contain some of the elements that I did mention during the session live, and some of the things that I wish I had mentioned back then. So, can location be a hindrance to closing the sales? That depends a lot on the context. Usually it doesn't, because sellers or entrepreneurs, business people, self-employed folks, whatever it is you want to call yourself, usually we move to the market. And so distance is not a problem, because we are chasing after naira and kobo, dollars and cents, pounds and pence, or whatever it is that they have. And so for us, it's not a problem that we have to get up and drive somewhere, or walk somewhere, or travel somewhere, or fly somewhere to get business done. We just take it as part of the business experience. So usually, location is not a hindrance because we're willing to move. Now, there are some instances where people are physically far from the target market. And when that's the case, then people usually sell or promote their business using affiliates. Those are people who are selling or marketing on your behalf. Affiliates don't have any role in product fulfillment. Yes, they don't have any role in product fulfillment. So if I was still a wedding photographer and I had affiliates for me in Lagos, because now I'm based in Abuja, the affiliates would only handle marketing and get people interested, but then the actual fulfillment, that's shooting the wedding, interacting with the client to close the deal, blah blah blah, all that would be my own responsibility. So people use affiliates. So you can be a wedding photographer here in Abuja who has affiliates in Lagos doing things for you. Although nowadays affiliates are much more popular for operating in the online space. So let's say you have a course, how to close the deal over long distances. Let's say that's your course. Okay, no, let me use something different. Okay, let's use something in the agriculture space, since there were some agro people there. Snail farming. Okay, yes. So let's say you have a course. Sorry, excuse me. So let's say you have a course, how to start a snail farm and be profitable in 5 months. And that's the name of your course. So the more popular thing with affiliate use these days is you have your course, so you're the person who is doing the training. You have your classroom, you have your samples, you have your site visits and everything. But then your affiliates will be responsible for marketing your course all over Instagram, Google, wherever. They'll throw the links all over. And then whenever you get business through one of the affiliates, you will cut your affiliate a commission. So maybe you've agreed the course is maybe 30,000 naira, and you agree with your affiliates that here's the promo material, here's the link, you guys do all the marketing you can. If anybody comes to me using this particular link, once they pay the 20,000 naira for the event, I'm going to send you a 5,000 naira check as your reward. So the understanding there is very simple. You get a reward, you send more people to that course. So affiliates. That's how affiliates are used online, but you can also use them in the real world where you're far from your target market. So, excuse me. Then people also use distributors where you're far from your target market. Distributors have a role in fulfillment. That's the difference between affiliates and distributors. So for the distributor, the person is going to take possession of my the physical product that I have to send to the customer, the buyer, the end user, and they're going to help get the product over to the end user. Or they're going to be there in Lagos because I'm based in Abuja, and they're going to be able to pick up. Okay, let's stick with the snail example. So based in Abuja. My distributor is in Lagos, and the address is publicized. So when people want to buy snails from me, they can go to this individual in Lagos because I would have sent a consignment of snails to the individual well beforehand. So distributors. Then there are also local representatives that can be used. You also have franchises. You can create a franchise. That's another subject on its own, so I'm not going to go into that. And if you notice, some of these options are already used in export and international business. That's using affiliates, using distributors, using local sales reps, and using franchises. So these are the ways that traditionally people go around this whole thing of distance. So you can be based in the United States of America. Your target market is in Nigeria, but then you're going to make the business work because you have affiliates, distributors, local sales reps, or you open up a franchise. So that is why traditionally location is not a hindrance to closing sales. But if you happen to be in that situation where you're convinced, that location actually is a big problem, then your options are number one, go close to the market. If you're tired of staying in America and trying to make it work in Nigeria, then up and leave. Get the required travel permits, leave America, come to Nigeria, see how you can make that business work. The same thing with the snail farmer. If you're tired of being here in Abuja and folks are running, helping you handle fulfillment in Lagos, you're not happy with that whole setup, then leave. Leave Abuja, move to to Lagos. If the snail market in Lagos is a lot bigger, maybe Abuja people don't like eating snails, but Lagos people eat snails all day, every day, 5 times a day. Then have a chat with your family, with your spouse, and maybe up and leave. Move your snail farm, move to Lagos, change location. And then another option that is available is you can leave the business altogether and do something that is more convenient or do something that is local. So if Lagosians really love snail, and the snail market is really profitable in Lagos, but you insist that you want to live in Abuja, you don't want to deal with affiliates, distributors, sales reps, franchisors, or whatever, then the solution is I love Abuja. I don't want to deal with the hassle of this snail, whatever. So change. Maybe Abuja people eat ram meat more. So you might now become a ram farmer. Get a piece of land, get your rams, what else? Get, what are they called? Shepherds to take care of the rams and blah, blah, blah. So abandon the business altogether, move into something that is local or something that is much more convenient. So those are the options that are available to you. Now, for the Smeaton class, I mentioned that the big 3 ideas for building the perfect sales process are number 1, prospecting, number 2, qualification, number 3, discovery. What is qualification? What is discovery? I'm not going to mention it here because I talk about it a lot on the podcast. So when you're done listening, use the search function. You are going to find lots of episodes from the over 650 episodes that we have so far that are dedicated exclusively to qualification and discovery. So you're going to know what those are and how they relate to your business. Now, prospecting is the stage where we're trying to figure out who might be interested in our product or service. We're trying to figure out where these people hang out, and we're trying to figure out if we can reach them reasonably and reach them effectively. So you can see that all the things that we're discussing here so far, whether location can be a hindrance, is part of all the stuff that you should have been doing at the prospecting stage. And this is the reason why prospecting, qualification, discovery are the big three and are essential to building the perfect sales process. Because if you tackle all these questions at the prospecting stage, then you don't really have a problem when the business has become a going concern, when the business is up and running. Because if you tackled it and you answered the question that, given where I like to live, or given how I like to work, or how I like to deal with people, or how I like to deal with people selling on my behalf, giving all that, I don't think I can reach these people conveniently, then you know that your business idea is dead from the get go, and you're not going to become a snail farmer. But then, if you ask yourself all these questions at the prospecting stage, especially before, while you're trying to validate the business, then you'll be able to know, okay, this can work out for me, and I'm going to make it happen. So that's the reason why the big three, prospecting, qualification, discovery, these are really important. You want to hear some more about that? If this is your first time listening to the show, look for podcast episodes that have these in the title, and you get caught up to speed. I also made a podcast episode called, I think it was called The Perfect Sales Process. That was when I had the training session with the Brunch and Bond. That's the ladies' business networking group over here in Abuja. So when I handled their training, that was what this was about. So we have a look at that, The Perfect Sales Process. And that is me talking about prospecting, qualification, and discovery. What do these things mean? How do they help you create the perfect sales process? How do you apply it to your own unique circumstances? I even used one episode to flesh out a case study on, I think it was the beauty and skincare business, to show you how you can apply it, whether you're using an outbound approach or an inbound approach, whether you're going out to look for customers, old school style, or whether you're staying in your office, your studio, your whatever it is, and you're trying to get people interested in you and come to chase you down. You also want to know some more about outbound business philosophies and inbound business philosophies. I have a podcast episode for that as well. So just search. And that's part of the reasons why it's a good idea to join the 5K coaching club, because I'm there available every day to answer all these questions as they come up and to show you how it applies to your business. So, to wrap it up, the person who asked that question during the Smedan event, I decided to ask some more questions, and these turned out to be the details. The lady is a baker based in a certain part of Lagos, but most of our customers come from another part of Lagos. And unfortunately, those people who are several hours away, anyway, let's just put it this way. The way that she phrased the problem was her customers are too far away from where she is. So I asked a couple of questions, and I was able to drill down to a couple of things. It's not really that those people are too far away. It's just that given the distance that those people are already at, the price at which they were buying did not make it worth her while to continue servicing that market. So I pointed out to her that really what she didn't have was a location problem. Rather, what she had was more of a pricing problem. Because if your people are far from you, that's your ideal audience. If they're far away from you, but your product or service is priced appropriately, it would not be a problem, because you'd be able to pay someone else to do the hassle of delivery, or you'll be making a little bit on the delivery, and so it's worth your while. But either way, it's not going to be eating into your margins, it's not going to be eating into your profits. So for those people who have this kind of question in mind, that is location a hindrance to closing sales, and what you have in mind is actually what this lady had in mind, your problem is not a location problem. Your problem is a pricing problem. And in the event, we ran over a couple of scenarios about how you can charge for delivery, which she didn't like, because she says some people, when they see charging for delivery, they don't want to pay. And then I gave her my own experience about how I personally got tired as a wedding photographer of having all those pricing conversations, because the wedding might happen here in Abuja because this is where the parents are based. But then, after the wedding, folks would fly back to Lagos, which is where they live, or fly out of the country, which is where they live. And I got tired of having all those pricing conversations, because at the time, DHL, that's to send the things through DHL, that's a courier service. DHL to Lagos was 6,007. I think DHL to Kano was about 11 grand. And I can't remember other parts of the country. I think to go abroad was about, at the time, was it about 16? 16 or 18 grand, something like that. So I got tired of having all those delivery discussions one on one. If the couple is going to the UK, it's a different price for delivery. If the couple is going to Lagos, it's a different price for delivery. If the couple is going to Kaduna, it's a different delivery. I got tired of having all those conversations, so I just started baking in delivery costs into the packages that I was disclosing to people. So then it wasn't really a problem. If the person said, okay, the wedding is over, I know we agreed that you deliver to Lagos, but I'm sorry, we had to move our flight forward. My line manager wants me back at work, so I'm leaving for the UK immediately with my wife. In that case, it wouldn't be a problem to me because I already built it in there. So whether it turned out to be 11 grand for Lagos, no problem, it was covered. If it turned out to be 18k for the UK, no problem, that was covered. And if the person happened to still be in Abuja at the time that we agreed, then it was not a problem. It means that my profit margins just went up. So that was my own approach, to take the delivery cost and then wrap it in to all the packages. That was my own approach. I can't remember what the lady said, why she didn't like that option. I think she said she didn't like that option because it was going to make her stuff too expensive for her target market. And then we started getting into some conversations about what the core value proposition is, and because that would affect the kind of target, the kind of people that she could look out for to sell to, and that led to other conversations. It just led to the conversation spilling on and on and on. But bottom line is this: if you're like her and you think it's a location problem, it's actually not a location problem, it's a pricing problem. Let's make sure that your product or your service is priced appropriately. That problem goes away. Let's make sure you know what your core value proposition is, or unique selling point is, or unique value proposition is, and you're going to be able to use proper messaging to get the right kind of audience that's not going to be a problem for. If this is the first time you're hearing these kinds of terms, unique selling proposition, unique value proposition, your core value proposition, don't worry for that. Like I said, we have over 650 podcast episodes here. I've made podcast episodes on that as well, so you can refer to that. And then the 5K coaching club, that's also another avenue there. And I get to answer all those questions each and every day. So that's all for today. That's all for today, rather. So thanks for listening. And if you love what you hear on the podcast, like I've said repeatedly over during today's episode, you can have daily access to me to ask me questions related to how you sell in your business. That's what the WhatsApp Coaching Club is, and the investment required for it is only 5,000 naira monthly. You get to ask me anything. I'll give you answers and assignments to move your business forward. If you're interested, hit me up on social media, send me a DM, or you can send a message to my phone. The number is 08064662140. The country code for Nigeria is +234. That's for those of you who are hitting me up from other parts of the world. You can connect with me on socials. The name is Tavishima Ayede. Don't worry about the spelling of my name. Once you're done, you can check out my email address, the spelling of my name, my photo. It's all on the website where you're currently listening to this episode, for those of you who are listening using a web browser. If you're listening in the podcast app, it's the same. Just look at the profile of the podcast app. You'll see my photo. You see the right spelling of my name. My email address is there. And you have all the information that you need. Now, some of us who are getting ready to go into business want to save to get into business. We'd rather not get the money from the bank or from a loan shark. Loan shark, terribly bad idea for obvious reasons. Bank loans, maybe not a bad idea. If you don't mind the extra conditions, saving with a bank, your savings are not really guaranteed because of all the charges that they're going to charge you, and you have easy access to the money with your ATM card, things like that. So I am affiliated with an institution that has 504 billion in assets. What that means is they're not going to go broke. They're not going to run away with your money. They're a secure organization to work with, and they're in the business of protecting and guaranteeing your savings. That's what they do. If you're interested in that, message me on 08064662140 to get started on saving towards that dream business of yours. But it doesn't have to be saving towards business goals, because any savings plan will do. They have savings plan that covers education. If you want to start saving for your children to go to the best university in Nigeria, or the best university in Ghana, or the best university in America, or whatever. And then also retirement planning, retirement savings, all those things. So just hit me up on the phone number 080-6466-2140 to get started. So thanks for your time and attention. I'll catch you guys at the next episode.